Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Zero to Empire podcast. On this episode, I have Tim Hawkins. He's the executive coach of Novius Global, and he's actually going to be talking about his story today and what inspired him to become an executive coach. This is definitely an episode you don't want to miss out on. It's jam packed with a lot of insightful knowledge from Tim. And so, thanks so much, Tim, for being a part of this episode. And what originally inspired you to pursue your coaching as a career?
Yeah, thanks, Samuel. I appreciate getting to be here with you. Yeah, that's a great question. The inspiration part actually came from just the personal change and transformation I got to experience when I hired my own coach. This would be, and I think this is like 7 years ago. And one of the things I didn't realize at the time was happening, but when we finished that first go around with coaching was I had developed a coach on my shoulder. And I thought, man, this is pretty powerful because the kind of change that I experienced in my own coaching relationship was one of conviction. It wasn't one of just transaction. My coach didn't tell me what to do. He didn't suggest what to do. He honestly believed that I had all the resource in the world to navigate, the complexities of the stuff before me. And so when we finished up, I remember thinking, ooh, I like one, the growth I've seen, the accomplishment that I've been able to navigate, but then also I felt like I was a wholly like better human being. I could ask better questions. I could engage with people differently. So when it came to pick, if you will, a career along with pastoring a church, it kind of was a no brainer. It really was.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that's awesome that you're helping coach, like you're helping people through your coaching as well as being a pastor. How did actually being a pastor today shape the way you coach?
Well, like pastoring people, it's an interesting thing. It almost feels a little bit at times like counseling and consulting kind of mashed up. And so for anybody who has ever seen a therapist, you see a therapist and a therapist helps you with past related matters, and they're trying to bring you typically to a place of like equilibrium and healing and wholeness. And then consulting is well, you're an expert in this field, and I would love for you to give me your professional opinion on what I should do. And so pastoring has a little bit of some of that. Like you care for people deeply. For me, it's like I want my job as a pastor is to help you have clarity on how to like follow Jesus more closely. And people would come to me and ask me very specific questions like, how do I navigate these past hurts and pains? Tim, tell me what I should be reading or tell me how I should be thinking. And that is all great. Like both counseling, therapy, and consulting are fantastic helping professions. I realized, however, that as a pastor, one of the things that I oftentimes would miss out on is remembering that the person before me likely had way more capability of pressing into the matters before them than they probably gave themselves credit for. And I was the sage. So I was asked, everybody wants to be asked questions about what they know and how to do things. Coming into the coaching world, it was really helpful to be able to have a place like my background is in counseling, and I have done work in a space where you have to learn how to listen well to people. And so coaching requires a ton of listening, not just the content and body language, but even deeper than that. And so all of my years being with people and trying to utilize a sense of discernment and coaching, that's been very helpful. Sitting down and listening to somebody talk about a major goal of theirs that they're pursuing, while also listening to how they communicate it. So not just the words, but the deeper level at play has been like profoundly impactful. And I'm grateful it's a skill that pastoring allowed me to practice a ton of, because now in my coaching, I love being able to hear people say things and then try to sift out like, hey, is there something underneath this that's at play? So yeah, the two have been very, very, very helpful, and pastoring has helped me to just be present with people in the moment.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a solid combo to have in your expertise. So, can you actually tell us a little bit more about a client story through coaching that has made an impact on you with us so far?
Yeah, the one that comes to mind immediately. Actually, matter of fact, I had a call today. I had a coaching call today that made an impact on me. Because I'm married and my client's married, and my client was talking about how in the pursuit of their really big vision, which is both professional and personal, one of the things that is getting in the way is the relationship they have with their spouse. And it's not a bad relationship, and yet one of the specifics of their relationship is the levels of communication that they engage with. And this isn't something that I created. Somebody created it, but it's been a helpful tool. It's like there's various levels of communication when it comes to any human being. You can operate at the cliche level or the fact level. Like, hey, you know, it was a great day. That's a cliche. A fact, it was a great day because I got all green lights. And opinion is, I never get green lights. But to get deeper than that is really valuable, like emotion and transparency. On the call today, this guy has massive professional dreams, and he recognizes that the relationship he has with his spouse is kind of, he feels like, getting in the way. And so today we pressed into, well, what's it look like? What's the vision that you have for the communication you desire with your spouse, with your wife? And one of the things I appreciated, and it marked me, was the willingness to be able to sit and say, this is important to me. I cast vision for it. Here's current reality. I don't know why I'm here, but I'm willing to be open and honest about it. And so it was impactful because we've got huge goals that he wants to go after. And this little, but majorly important aspect of his life, he recognizes is an obstacle, and he's getting in his own way. And so that's part of the coaching that I love doing with people, is like, yeah, we're going to do goal line. That's what we call it. Goal line coaching. Let's help you get to the goal of whatever it is you're doing. We do a lot of soul line work, though, as the fuel that helps you to accomplish those goals. And so today it was beautiful watching somebody sit and say, how I communicate with my spouse is actually so important toward the bigger goals that I have, financially and professionally. So that marked me today, to press into something that could seem so little and yet be so profound.
Oh yeah, the little things do matter, and that's awesome. You're able to make that impact on him today, and also on yourself alone. And so before this, you actually dived into meta performance coaching. Can you actually describe what that is and how it's different from what everyone
Yes.
else is doing?
Yeah. So background a little bit. So I'm a certified professional leadership coach. I'm also a certified professional strengths coach. If for anybody who's ever done like the Clifton Strengths Assessment, and those are fun. Love doing all of them. Meta performance coaching is unique, in the sense that what for the group that I work with. So I'm a part of an executive coaching firm called Novus Global, and we believe that meta performance is what is beyond high performance. And so you've got high performance as I want to be the best. Well, meta performance is technically beyond that. The word meta is a Greek word that means beyond or after. You'll hear it in words like metamorphosis, so very transformational. And so the concept of meta performance coaching is, not how do I be the best, but what am I capable of. So with our clients, and with my clients in particular, we do a lot of work around casting really, and we're going to talk on this later, really big, like almost like audaciously stupid vision. Like it's like, what? To the point where you begin to sweat when you think about it. But the reason we do that is because, within Novus Global, we believe that every person, every leader vastly underestimates what they're capable of. And so meta performance is a way of helping people to cast vision for their lives, relationships, whatever it is, in a way that the only option they have really to accomplish that vision, that goal, is by transformation. So by default, meta performance coaching is transformational coaching. The cool part about it is when we work with a client, 6 months to 12 months of an agreement is how long I typically work with my clients. Normally, because we are so focused on the transformation to accomplish the goal, our clients oftentimes accomplish the goal in way less time with greater joy and satisfaction. And when they do that, we ask the meta performance question. Well, what else are you capable of? You didn't think this was possible 3 months ago, and now it is possible. Let's recast vision into the impossible, and let's figure out who you need to become to accomplish now something that you could have never imagined. accomplishing before? So meta performance constantly asks that question. And it's it's a really powerful question because you can ask it in terms of anything. And then you get to press into some deep-seated transformation. So there's always a high development of growth along with like the tactical, strategical actionables to accomplish that vision. So that's a little bit of what meta performance is. And it's fun. I've coached in many different ways. This is the most powerful approach I've ever experienced personally, because I have my own coach, and it allows my clients to be able to have a safe space in which they can begin to dream of big, impossible, thrilling goals and vision, and surface the things that are getting in the way, which typically are us. Like we sandbag and get in our own way, and meta performance coaching helps to surface those things pretty quickly.
Yeah, it sounds like a very solid approach. And can you actually tell us one of the stupid impossible goals, quote unquote, that helped you make real?
Yeah. So I've got like a billion different thoughts in my mind right now, and you're asking personally for me one. So the big stupid impossible vision is always relative to my clients. One client in particular, I'll never forget sitting down and casting vision. He's a CFP, chief financial planner. And when we casted vision, part of his vision was at the end of our coaching, he did not want to work Fridays anymore. And in his line of work, working 5 days a week, as it occurred to him, was essential. It had to happen in order to reach his financial goals. And we were 3 months into coaching and of a year-long commitment together. And by month, it was somewhere around like 3 or 4. He had actually found that because of some of the personal changes he was making in his life, he dropped some clients that he believed were kind of, and I mean this in a kind way, but dead weight. He just held them around because he thought that's what he was supposed to do. He had this pattern of wanting to look good. Well, as he shed that pattern, that need of having to look good, he decided like, hey, I'm going to pass these clients off to somebody else. And I'm going to go after clients I really want. And in doing so, he created massive margin that 4 months in, he wasn't working Fridays anymore. And to him, that just seemed impossible that he would ever get to a place where he's got kids and, everybody's eating food as they're growing, so the pantry's empty. Like, he never imagined that was going to be possible. But for him, it did become a reality. But it wasn't because he did more. It was because he actually became more. And that always sticks with me because he was so resolute. Like, man, if this could happen in a year, that'd be great. And 4 months into coaching, it happened. And so we asked the question, well, what else are you capable of? Maybe a 1-day work week. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So that's one particular instance because that was meaningful to him. There were a bunch of other goals he had, but that one in particular was like, I want more time with my family. So no Fridays. And it was fun to see that happen.
Oh, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. You're able to make that impact on him.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you say are some of the characteristics of the people that you coach today? Like, what are they going through?
Ooh, that's such a great question. And I think that's the fun part about doing like executive coaching, utilizing meta performance is we really work with, I mean, just about anybody. Like Novus Global works with people in the entertainment industry. We work with Forbes 500 people, all the way down to like the mom and pop business owners to stay-at-home moms. So for people who end up working with a coach, a part of Novus Global, a couple things are true, else you're not going to enjoy the work we do. You're not going to enjoy kind of the baseline presupposition of why we do this work. One is all of our clients to some degree agree with the fact that they are vastly underestimating what they're capable of. They're willing to accept that as almost capital T truth, if you will. It's like gospel. It's like, yes, like I agree. I do not overestimate. I underestimate what I'm capable of, and oftentimes vastly underestimate what they're capable of. And our clients and the ones I work with also believe or at least they're willing to be open-handed with, I vastly underestimate what other people are capable of, whether that's my wife, my children, my team, the organization that I'm working for and leading. And so those two particular things are themes with all of my clients and the clients that our firm works with. We vastly underestimate what we're capable of, and we vastly underestimate what other people are capable of. So those are two themes that are consistently at work. Something else that plays in is that our clients want to cast big vision, and they're willing to have their vision tested. We call it stress testing. We expand on what our clients go after because we want to get a sense of, what does your intuition tell you is possible or impossible here? And when we can get our clients to a place where they're willing to acknowledge that a vision or a goal is in their mind impossible and still exciting to pursue, we're in a sweet spot there. So we like it when our clients sit and go like, man, I feel like I've got imposter syndrome now with this vision, or I'm not capable of it, or it really feels like this can't happen. It's like, oh, really, man, we love this. Like, complain about this all day long because there's latent vision as you're complaining about how big this vision now is. So those are some things that are uniquely true of our clients. Vastly underestimate themselves and their teams, and they're willing to cast vision and expand it into the realm of impossibility.
Nice. Okay, that's some good descriptions. And so, if you could actually go back to your, or go, let's say, go to your future self 10 years from now, and what would be a piece of advice that you would like to say to yourself?
Yes, that's a great question. In thinking about this, one of the things that I would go back and tell myself 10 years ago is one, instead of trying to do more in order to have more so that I can like become more, um, instead of all the doing, I would tell myself 10 years ago, like, who do you need to become? Like, what's the growth? What's the transformation? Like, I would ask them, like, hey, picture yourself 10 years down the road, um, in a vision of your life that is thrilling and exciting, satisfying, fulfilling, and it's what you want. It's not what you think other people want, it's what you want. Like, what's true of that version of yourself that is not true of yourself now, and not in doing, but in being. Like, what kind of person is Tim 10 years from now? I would ask my version of myself 10 years ago, like, imagine what is true of them. What's a quality and a characteristic of that version of Tim Hawkins 10 years down the road that's not true of you, that you can leverage as a resource and begin to grow yourself into? That's where I'd go back to, because 10 years ago, I'd be in my 20s at that point. 10 years ago, it was a lot of doing. It was a lot of trying to prove. It was a lot of looking good and being in control, a lot of strategy. And if I could go back and focus more on like the transformation that would allow me to then experience a particular vision, I think there's a lot of heartache. There's a lot of traction I would have experienced. Probably just in general, I would have had a lot more growth as well. And I don't regret it, but I think that's what I would go back. I'd have that kind of conversation with myself.
Yes, that's some solid advice. And where can those actually interested in your coaching find and reach out to you by?
Yeah, so I would say if you wanted to work with me in particular, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can go to my website. It's knowgrowgo.org. KNOW. It's not don't grow. Um, and I would encourage anybody to this as well, is like, if you're really interested in casting a vision for your life that's thrilling and exciting and maybe even a little bit scary, is go to novus.global and connect with us. The beautiful part about what I do is I can't coach everybody. I wish I could. That'd be kind of cool. Um, and I've got 55 fellow coaches right now that I trust completely to be able to help you experience a version of your life that maybe seems impossible but is worth pursuing. And so those are two different ways that you could reach out to me or to Novus Global. We love helping people like cast big vision and then navigate and kind of co-journey with them and going after it.
Solid. Make sure to go check out Tim. get in contact with him or Novus Global. But thanks so much for being a part of the podcast as well, Tim. And thank you, everyone, for watching in or listening in on this episode of Zero to Empire. I'll see you on the next one.
Sounds good. Thanks, Samuel.